Has the front office lost its mind, or is Klint Kubiak a misunderstood genius? Why on earth did the Las Vegas Raiders bring in a 32-year-old running back to a backfield that already features a hungry Ashton Gianti? And worse, is our sheriff, Jackson Powers Johnson, finally going to pan out on the offensive line? Or are we just going to accept that he was a collective fever dream in the draft? Things got heavy behind the scenes today, and I'm not here to sugarcoat anything for anybody. Buckle up and smash that like button, because today was absolutely insane in the Raider Nation, and I've got some hard truths to drop. Listen up. Let's cut right to the chase so we don't waste any time. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially signed running back Dare Ogunbowale. The guy was in a group of 3 veterans working out in Vegas, thoroughly impressed our staff, and already put pen to paper. End of story. He's coming in now for the rest of training camp, focused on snagging a hard-earned spot on the final 53-man roster. You on the other side of the screen are probably screaming right now, "Ryan, for the love of God, the guy is 32 years old and has never had more than 43 carries in an entire season. Why are we wasting our time with this?" Relax. My first reaction was pure skepticism too. We look at the backfield and see our stud Ashton Gianti, last year's number 6 overall pick, ready to eat up the field under Kubiak's command. We've got fresh blood pumping with Dylan Laub and rookie Mike Washington Jr. The answer lies between the lines with our GM John Spytek. Spytek and Ogunbowale worked together back in their Tampa Bay Buccaneers days, so there is plenty of mutual trust there. The immediate impact of this signing isn't to steal GNT's precious carries. Kubiak is going to run our starter into the ground. That's a given. Ogunbowale brings a surgical, cheap insurance policy to Vegas. The guy is a third down specialist, pass blocks like very few in the league, and is an absolute monster on special teams. With the physicality of today's NFL and the new rules, we desperately need gritty, battle-tested guys in that third phase of the game. My honest opinion on this? I'm not going to pretend to you that this is the blockbuster signing of the year, but it is far from ridiculous. It's that invisible tactical move that doesn't make the front page of ESPN, but wins ugly divisional games in the freezing cold of November. He comes in on a 1-year deal, making pretty much the veteran minimum, and is going to fight tooth and nail against Laub and Washington Jr. to avoid getting cut. We entered the week with over $14 million in cap space. Spytek didn't even spend pocket change on this deal. This arrival makes it glaringly obvious that the front office doesn't fully trust the drafted kids to pick up linebacker blitzes in Patrick Mahomes' division. The internal message has been sent. Either the young guys learn to block right now, or the veteran takes the spot by force. And I fully co-sign that. I'm tired of seeing our quarterback get flattened because of a rookie's missed read. Having a seasoned veteran teaching the kids the ropes in the locker room is pure gold. If Lobe doesn't wake up tomorrow, Ogunbowale is going to swallow him up on the depth chart. Kubiak has already made it clear. In his system, you only play if you don't make mental mistakes. If the situation in the backfield already had you raising an eyebrow, wait until you see what went down in the trenches with Jackson Powers Johnson. Yes, the infamous JPJ, who to this day remains the biggest question mark on our offense. The news that blew up in camp today was this: JPJ is splitting first-team reps at right guard with Carlos Rogers. He isn't the absolute undisputed starter. He is in a pure rotation. Look, the fan base is losing its patience, and I totally get where you're coming from. He was the 44th overall pick in the draft, won the Remington Trophy as the best center in the country in college. But in the NFL, his career has turned into an absolute circus. His rookie year, they bounced him from center to guard, and then back to center. In year 2, they changed his position again, brought in another starter to take his place, and he still went down with a terrible injury in Week 10. Now, in 2026, we are under our third different coaching staff, evaluating the kid in 3 years. That is brutal for any player's mental game. There are people over on X saying he looks mentally destroyed, comparing his body language in interviews with rookie Caleb Rogers. They say Caleb talks like a true trench leader, while JPJ looks like a defeated guy. Being brutally honest, that's now 3 straight coaching staffs that view JPJ in a completely different light than the fans hope for. We won an All-Pro yesterday. They see someone who is still very raw and needs to grind out the basics. But here is where Raider Nation's hope comes back. The new offensive line coach, Rick Dennison, came in praising the kid relentlessly behind the scenes. Dennison publicly stated that JPJ is the first one to raise his hand in the film room, answers everything perfectly, and has been sweating blood in practice. Our offensive line in 2025 was one of the worst in the league. It made you want to cry watching the games. But now the circumstances are different. JPJ is 100% healthy. For the first time in his professional career, he has a solid foundation and a position coach praising his work ethic to the press. His physical talent is undeniable. We saw that back at Oregon, just bullying and destroying defenses. But the NFL demands mental toughness and continuity, things he's never had in Las Vegas until today. Development in the trenches isn't a straight line. He spent more time plugging holes in a broken scheme than actually refining his own technique. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If he loses this straight-up guard battle to Carlos Rogers, the red bus siren is going to be flashing an LED on his forehead. The pressure is at an absolute max, but the fact that he's being shielded by the new staff tells me he holds all the cards. No more injury excuses. No more bad coaches messing up the playbook. This is the last train leaving the station. Either he crushes the competition and claims the starting job in these next 3 weeks of camp, or the JPJ project goes down the drain of franchise history for good. To sum up today's madness, Ogunbowale arrives as a cheap, smart life insurance policy to protect our passing game, while JPJ is quite literally on his last chance to avoid being labeled as a massive draft bust for the franchise. And I want to hear from you down below. No mincing words and no BS. If Jackson Powers Johnson loses the starting right guard spot to Carlos Rogers at the end of this camp, would you cut him on the spot or give him one more season riding the pine? Let me know in the comments.